Okay, hi everybody. We are here for the post-match analysis of blockmonoid win against me in the 2025 deathmatch, weekly deathmatch. Congratulations, Block.
Thank you so much, and thank you, thwol. I mean, it was definitely a big challenge, and I feel especially happy to win that because it is finally the expert assassin that I've been trying to get from you for so long.
The master assassin.
Master assassin. We even said it wrong, right? It's the master assassin. Right, but I mean, you've been master so many times, and I'm still like, this brought me to 650, which is the highest I've ever been. But yeah, it's just you've been up there so much, but we've played during that time, but every time we've played, you
Yeah, I
either
wasn't.
won or
Yeah, or
you
I
dropped
was.
below 700.
Yeah,
So
yeah, you
yeah.
won 2 weeks ago, I think, but
Yeah.
unfortunately.
So this
Okay,
this
so
was a good game. I really like this game. I definitely
yeah,
do.
me too. It's very nice. Okay, so I had sailing mysticism. I usually play sailing here just because of my clothing phobia. I don't know if
Yeah, I
you
would probably
have.
play sailing here too, just to counter a little bit against clothing and also to just get more cards
Yeah,
out very fast.
Definitely.
Mysticism is good if your opponent has metalworking or the wheel.
mm,
Um, but otherwise it's not that great. I mean, it's drawing
yeah,
basically.
yes.
My cards were also not so good. I had oars and writing.
Mm,
Um, and both you and I think, agree that jumping to age two too early is not in your own interest.
yeah,
And so I did oars, but of course, if you meld oars as your first card, there's no surprise. And I had two of the crowns in my hand. So what are the chances that you actually have crowns? So actually, my debate on my first move was, do I even use
mm,
or? Because at most it'll probably get me 1 point. And would I rather just draw,
yeah,
instead?
yeah, yes. Okay, so I melded sailing, you melded oars, then you just uh, did you draw? Yes, you drew.
I
Yeah,
orsed you, yeah.
yeah. Are you?
And
Are
now
you?
I know what your hand is, right?
Mm, I see. I see. Sorry. Uh, I missed that when we were playing.
I did as
So,
well.
so yeah, I tend not to read the log. I saw one card moving. Okay, okay. So here, I mean, playing sailing seems
And
to
it's
me,
the obvious
well,
move.
yeah.
Yeah.
And archer is not a card I'm particularly afraid of losing. So again, and so up here I was happy.
Yep. And I
And
had gotten pottery from my draw, I think.
okay, so probably you were also happy.
Yeah, pottery is nice. Because I was definitely worried, especially after I meld pottery and I return writing, and I did not score clothing and I did not draw clothing, and I was like, oh
Mm.
no, this is bad news. Because I do not want you to do sailing and blind meld clothing. That was my big worry.
Mm.
So yeah. Um,
And not
Yes.
only that, but the card that you got when you used pottery was red, was metalworking. So even if there's that blind meld of clothing, then you don't even get to like put something down and make it better for yourself.
yeah,
Yes.
clothing was really a nightmare at this point.
Also because it would be shared, so I would also draw, which
Right.
makes yeah. So, but I went the coward way and used domestication, got city states, and then, but I guess did I use mysticism? Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense at that point because you're most likely going to meld that card and you get a new card in hand, so it's like a double action at that point.
Yes, and also like I mean, sailing and mysticism are sort of similar at a certain point. So
Right.
I thought, and okay, losing domestication can be a problem, but I mean, you have to do something. I think so. Up to here, I was very happy.
And now I was pretty sure you had clothing in your hand.
Yeah.
And so I knew I had to do something about it because I was very underdeveloped at this point. So I think I shared pottery.
Yes. And so I was happy to give away city-states. And then
You get my writing, and I get your city-states and something else. I forgot what I got.
Metalworking.
Maybe metalworking again. Yeah.
okay, so
I definitely melded city-states to stop you from getting an easy monument with clothing.
maybe, yeah. Do you think I shouldn't have returned more city-states?
I actually almost, yeah, I think maybe you shouldn't have. It gives me an extra card.
I mean, you will get the extra card anyway because like you made me. I
Oh,
have to
yeah,
draw.
that's true. All right.
I mean, this way it's a purple instead of a 2. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, no clue. Gabriel, do you have any?
Where is Code of Laws right now? Like, do you know that there's no chance that he'll get a purple if you don't return city states?
Um,
I think
so
Code of Laws was the achievement card.
so
So then you couldn't have
I
known that.
scored tools. Yes, yeah. So yeah, yeah. Probably. I mean, yeah. So it's also. I mean, you were going to get most likely one of 3 colors, right? Like, I mean, it's not.
Right.
Okay. Here I happily use clothing.
I, debated using city states, but you were just going to cover archer, like give me
Yeah.
archery and cover ores. So, yeah, I just did I draw or did I share pottery? I shared pottery.
Yes.
So that would get me 1 point and then two two twos.
Yes. Wait, what did you draw?
I don't
It was
remember.
mathematics and road building, so still not.
Right. But I was kind of happy with road building because it could, be dynamic. I could steal clothing.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, this is a situation where it would have been nice to get a green or a yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here I had to achieve because otherwise you would.
Right.
And I mean, and then clothing to get more points. And so you forced me to med monotheism.
Right, which gets me a card in hand. I was happy about that.
And you're still clothing.
Which was your only real way to score besides agriculture, but you had no cards in your hand because I forced you to meld.
Yes.
So you stayed at 9, which was probably pretty frustrating.
Yes. No, not particularly happy about that. So here my idea was, okay, like for the foreseeable future, I should be okay with castles. So writing seems like an okay thing to do.
And I was
like
happy with you sharing. I was actually kind of hoping for that because then I get a 3.
Yes, that's true. But like the other thing is, otherwise I would have to draw and draw. This way I could like do some like I don't know. In particular, given I have agriculture, I wanted to save some moves. And I don't know. Like I think it was like I was. I think I would do it again. What, Gabriel? Do you have any?
At the time, I was a little bit hesitant about that. Like, so I thought at this point that Thomas was still in like a fairly dominant position. And because of that, my at this point, like my sort of prediction for the line of the game, which of course turned out completely wrong based on what actually happened, is that Thomas is gonna like rapidly get even though agriculture is a little slow, he's gonna rapidly get the 2 and then probably get the 3 as well. And then that puts a lot of pressure on Block, and so in a situation like that, Block is going to like tend toward chaos in order to disrupt things and probably use mathematics aggressively. And so if that is the situation, then giving him the 3 right away like helps him like get that online as quickly as possible. So
Yeah.
I was surprised that you gave him a 3.
Yes. So I also thought that was how it was going to go, but my idea was if that's what happens, either I hope that sailing covers something, or I need to hope that he gets green, and for that I need some cards in hand. I cannot just like draw, return, draw, return, draw, return, and so I thought maybe I want some extra. Like I was also hoping I would like get to 6 and win by achievements, but I don't know.
Yeah, so thwol definitely wanted 2 cards in hand for road building, and then also wants a card to score for agriculture. And then yeah, I was definitely worried about just sailing, if I start getting too far in the lead with mathematics, sailing just comes back and haunts me by just putting random cards on my board.
I feel like there's not an urgency to getting 2 cards in hand with road building. Like mathematics isn't scary yet. Um, like so I know it can get scary like relatively rapidly, but you can sort of like wait a little bit on that. I feel like
Yeah, no,
it would have been
I think
okay to do a little, to lock in the 2.
yeah. I could have just draw twice, I think.
Or even after you shared writing, you could have used agriculture once then to make sure that you had the 10 points for the.
Yeah, the problem was what I drew because I got paper and machinery, and like since math was out, I thought machinery I cannot really let it out. I cannot really leave it. Like I really should keep it, I thought.
Right, to get to H4 faster.
No,
But
also like if you start going up and at some point you have um like if you go up with in age, machinery can be very useful to steal the card.
yeah. But I
And
mean, but paper also, I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. Like in some this is one of these situations. I want both cards and I want one more.
Yeah,
But
I think that this was this. I mean, we play a little differently. I think like I tend to like really aggressively go for the low score achievement. So like I thought that this was like a surprising play on your part. I mean, I understand the logic of wanting to get to the 4s, but I feel like I would like say I'm being too greedy. I got to sacrifice one of them, or don't play either of them and draw something else so that I have a 3rd card that I can at least sacrifice that one and lock in the achievement.
yeah.
So I really thought that your second action after that was going to be agriculture, and
Yeah,
that
me
really
too.
Yeah. I liked both. I don't know, and I thought like, okay, like if I play paper, then I can get a 4 next round, and then this sort of blocks mathematics. Like I don't know. That was the idea. Also, I thought, I don't know. Maybe I should have.
So the other thing that I thought was that once you've already done writing once, so now he's got a 3.
Yeah.
Like just do writing again. Like then you've got lots of cards for.
Yes. Yeah, that's probably.
That's a good, yeah.
Yeah, maybe, I thought of the issue was just like ideally I wanted the 4 the following round if you use mathematics, I think, but I agree probably. If you do it once, maybe you should do it twice. But instead I melded paper. So
And then
here,
I think what we're about to see is like one of the first pivotal, like really pivotal moments of the game. I mean, of course, like the early game was, but it was not like I think like what happens here with this mathematics play and then experimentation, I think like really changed the feeling of what was happening. Like it suddenly didn't look like Thomas was going to get the 2 and the 3.
yeah. But on the other
Yeah.
hand, like if I hadn't melded paper, he would have used experimentation.
Yeah, I would have had experimentation
Yeah,
for free.
yeah. So I don't.
Yeah, so I mean this was really kind of Gabriel, you said chaos is my tactic
Yeah,
at this point because I really have nothing going for me right now except for mathematics. So I gotta go full throttle on that.
yeah.
And when mathematics got covered right now with experimentation, I said, well, screw it. I'm just gonna I'm gonna see what happens. Because I have nothing going for me.
Yeah. Now here I was very happy. Like I was really, really happy. So okay, this game is turning out great.
Right?
And
Yeah.
then you share it just to get statistics. I was less happy.
And then pirate code, you have to be like
Yeah,
very
yeah,
happy.
yeah,
Yeah,
very
I was
unhappy.
very happy because I had the crown advantage and all these little cards to
Yeah.
sacrifice to the pirates.
Yeah, so this was very fortunate. I mean, I think like you played skillfully, of course, Block, but like this was certainly a very lucky turn of events for you.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, if I steal all these cards, statistics twice is going to just bring them all into my hand. But I kind of wasn't afraid of that because masonry was in there, and I could just meld masonry and use it, and then meld a whole bunch of stuff and get monument that way. It kind of wasn't a terrible thing if statistics destroys both our score piles. Like if we both go down to 0 because of pirate code and statistics, I kind of wasn't too. It didn't seem too bad.
Oh, yeah. I personally, my problem was like statistics was good for removing like given that you got pirate code, statistics was good for saving, like for adjusting for that, but covering agriculture, like I was up to that point, I was sort of saying, okay, now like I can get 2 easily, and suddenly, no, I'm not gonna get 2 ever in my life. Like,
Mm.
but yeah,
Yeah, that was a big surprise that 2 fell out of your grasp.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Very happy with that.
So, I mean, paper here seems, yeah, and here I get get perspective.
And just to be clear, that the idea behind paper is to establish the leaf lead. Is that right?
It's I also yes, I mean I wanted to be able to use machinery later also. Yes, like I mean I could use I knew that statistics was going to be used, and I was hoping. Ah no, actually there is a reason why I played paper like this. I was hoping that the first card would be Enterprise.
Mm, that would have been good.
Yeah,
Mm.
or navigation. And because those were the only cards that would bring me to 5, and like in the fives, I don't think there is any card with three
I mean, you can
cards.
also imagine if you get I guess it's not really relevant if you
I mean, in 2
something
moves, yes, I could play
very
statistics, get 1 and get 1 more, but in 1 move, I think that was the only thing I could do.
well, I was thinking colonialism.
Yeah. Yes, that also would work.
But that's sort of a different line where you don't care about having splayed the paper.
Also, I mean, your suggestion was to use road building, right?
Yeah, road building. If you got colonialism, but
Yeah,
yeah, I guess we need to use paper to get that for. Anyway, I feel like we can probably move on.
yeah. Just one thing I wanted to say, like using road building, of course, was something I was thinking about, but somehow I had to, like, I was going to uncover. Yeah, maybe I should have. Do you
I
think
mean,
I should have
it's
just
not
used
that
road
great.
building?
I think without having like something nice there, like it's not that great because he can just use road building right back,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he's whatever he's got in his hand, you don't know that that's going to be something that's good for you.
yeah.
Yeah, I figured if you drew something good, road building would just send it over. You would use road building to meld and then cover up pirate code.
Mhm.
Yeah, colonialism, like that's I think the only thing that would like really make road building like an attractive play.
Mhm.
My 5 here was societies, and I was like, well, I could certainly steal statistics, but actually paper would come over first. And yeah, that wasn't too satisfying either, but it kept being an idea. And eventually I actually was really seriously considering stealing paper, just to feed it to pirate code
Mm.
and end your drawing with paper that you kept having. And actually I was actually gonna steal it and then use it to display my blues left. Because I really needed to display later on in the game. That was my main disadvantage was splay.
Okay.
All right, so you drew a 5 second card. Okay.
Yeah, and so here I just gave you all the tools because I thought this way statistics is more effective.
Okay.
And
But I guess
yeah,
one of those two was currency, which turned out to be a pretty painful thing. Oh no,
no,
sorry.
Got revealed.
Yeah, well, there was fermenting. Yeah, like I don't know. Maybe I gave you too many leaves. Did you? What was the two in your hand?
Construction.
Construction.
Oh no, yeah, it was either construction or count. I think it was construction. Yeah,
It was construction. I'm watching the game from your perspective, so
Okay, yeah. Which of course I did. I was happy having that in my hand and not in your hand.
Yeah, maybe I fed you too many leaves, but
I thought it was, if you gave me the ones, I would have been very happy, but it's giving me the twos. Here I had options. I mean, because you gave me canal building, and so I was and I guess you're gonna finish your action here, but on my turn, I was seriously thinking about melding canal building, putting the 5 into my score pile and getting all those ones out of my score pile. And then um use melding masonry and getting monument with masonry. And then I had all these interesting cards in my hand, like map making and stuff like that, which would have been fun. Yeah, that didn't happen because you had a surprise with your hands.
yeah. Here, I don't know. Like, I wasn't like I really was unhappy with having 3 yellow because I it sort of had to give up age 5 basically, one way or another. But I really thought that I had to get rid of, like, at least slow you down and make you use some of the cards. I don't know. So I used road building.
And I wasn't too happy with losing currency. I mean, currency was kind of one of the, I mean, currency was the card that kept kind of getting tossed around, but it was an easy way to score for both of us. And so it was really kind of important to keep control over it.
Yes. So yeah, and of course you forced me to play machinery.
And I was like, oh, you're just gonna meld some nonsense 3. and then I will execute my plan with canal building and everything like that. And then as soon as you meld a machinery, that put a totally different plan into to play, where suddenly I had to defend. I mean, if you, I didn't want you to steal all these cards. If you stole construction, I had to be worried about, having all this colors down. I was actually considering sending construction to your side with road building, but then you would have the castle lead and you would steal whatever sharing bonus I got. There was too many options here.
Mm.
So
But
I saw a different line than what you ended up doing. So you melded societies and fermenting, and then you didn't do any trading. So the line that I saw that I thought was interesting was doing the trade. So like maybe we can like go forward to like where we see what the tableau looked like at the end of the
Yes.
action.
So
Like
one
at this
more,
point,
or
he doesn't
No.
do that. And he doesn't trade. So, but what I was like, you sat here for a little while and thought about it, and what I was imagining was you do the trade. Thomas doesn't have cards in hand, so he's not immediately threatening to use road building again. And then you're gonna get the sharing bonus. So you're gonna have 4 2s and a 5 in hand. Then just use currency and return everything.
Oh,
You're
okay.
not vulnerable to machinery, and you get the 5 points from the returns, and now you're sort of like in a pretty good state for the immediate future.
well, you
Or
get
actually,
four
yeah,
4 points.
4 points. Yeah.
Oh
If
yeah,
I
because
return,
they return more 2s. Yeah, sorry, my
yeah,
mistake.
so that wouldn't get me to H2 actually.
Yeah,
Uh,
but I mean, like you're not vulnerable to machinery. It's Thomas's board is inert. He's not close to using road building.
Well, I mean, if you do that, then I get back paper, and with machinery, I can draw 2 cards per round
I see.
because of this play. Like I can still do machinery to splay the reds and then draw
Yeah, I
2
probably
cards.
like missed that it was only going to get to 9 and not to 10.
No, it was an interesting. It's an interesting.
I mean, it also like with yeah. Well, anyway, we can move on.
yeah, I wanted to steal currency with the second
Yeah, I mean,
opportunity.
also you managed to get.
And yeah, and this tied us on leaves, which was important.
Mhm. So here I use this. I force you to get 2 points.
I was surprised by that actually, that you forced me to. I was glad I kept construction in my hand.
I did. Well, the point was that I thought I needed the reds play. That was all.
Okay.
I thought the point was so that paper was more draw.
Yeah. That was exactly the idea. Yes. Yeah. Sorry, I meant I didn't know you had the construction in hand. I just I needed the display, and like I ended up giving you 2 points. But I wasn't too unhappy with drawing an extra card. Yeah, so here, what did you do? Currency
and achieve.
Achieve 2.
Right.
And
What was
the
the-
5 that's being returned is astronomy. So like there's one can imagine a different version of the game where if Thomas had that the ability to achieve the 2 and sort of seemed like in a more dominant position, that maybe Block would have like wanted more chaos and use that astronomy, but here I think it's very reasonable to return it.
Yeah.
I think it's a very interesting position, because on the one hand you can score and you can do a bunch of things, but my side is quite developed and I'm drawing a lot and I can play quickly, so it's really like unpredictable, I think, what will happen.
Yeah, I think this middle game, it was funny because we were, age 5, and you had to give up age 5, but you're drawing all these age 4 cards, and yeah, and you've got all the displays, and I'm just I'm ignoring the fact that I have age 5, and I'm using very basic cards to get my point, you know. Um,
Here,
I
had
think
you
it's
thought? Sorry, here had you thought about using societies, or giving me the 5 was?
I did, and but I wanted to score with currency first and achieve, and then I was gonna steal paper.
Mhm.
And then you somehow caught up or did something that stopped me from doing that. Yeah, I was definitely I wanted to steal paper. Oh, you melded enterprise, which really was
Yeah,
frustrating.
yeah. So here, yeah, here I'm not sure I did the right thing, but maybe I should have stolen currency now, but I just thought I wanted more cards in hand, and so
Mm,
I kept paper. And also giving you optics was not something I would have been happy with.
right.
And gunpowder was not a good idea. So I thought, okay, just or maybe should have I drawn twice again. I know here also like printing press gives me ability to play one more color left. And so I
Right.
could draw 3. It was very unfortunate that I had lost perspective in all the previous stuff. And also this way I could go to 6.
Right.
So,
Well, this I thought this was a very good play. Because now we're tied on leaves, we're tied on crowns. We're tied on everything except you have the lead on light bulbs. And I
so
have the lead on score.
yeah, so you use calendar
Calendar, which was my only way to draw without sharing.
and then achieve,
I
like prepare to
wondered
achieve.
here, since you had currency, and Thomas didn't really have a way to score at the moment, I was wondering about using fermenting and intentionally sharing it. Like he gets a couple of 3s, you get 3 3s and a 5. Then you can currency a 3 and a 5 and score 7.
Yeah, I thought about it, but I didn't want to give him any big jumps in score.
Hmm.
So I thought calendar, I just, I use it and then I share current I did I share currency right away or did I do something else?
I think you
Uh,
shared, yes. But here I didn't take it because I was so behind that I thought I wouldn't. And
right.
then
And I thought just like be a little incremental here. Um, because yeah, yeah.
I felt like this was too slow at the time, but I guess because Thomas was operating in a slow mode, it was perfectly fine.
Yeah, and the card that I kept was translation, which I was gonna melt and break the crown tie. And actually, probably if I broke the crown tie, I would use societies to steal either paper or printing press. Um, Either one I would be happy with. But yeah, so
Yeah,
I was
this is
happy.
like a very tense place for there to be a crown tie because of societies on the one side and enterprise on the other side.
Yeah. So here, road building just shuts me down.
yeah, here I kept debating: should I use enterprise? Should I use enterprise? Should I use enterprise? And then I got colonialism.
Yeah.
This is
So I'm behind on I'm behind on everything, aren't I? Yeah, absolutely everything. Every icon I'm behind on. So gunpowder is gonna start killing everything. Uh you know, I just everything is bad. And so ironically, I've been on age 5 for how many turns, but I actually didn't draw an age 5 card. And now I decide time to finally draw an age 5 card. So I didn't use calendar because I wanted those 3s there to slow down currency. Yeah, and I drew a 5 and it was the magic 5.
Yeah, like I
Another
must.
very pivotal moment of luck.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I would say, okay, we are in business. I think I can. I think I can just do stuff now. And then you drew and play call. And no. Yeah, this was quite bad. So, um, so here
I'm curious what 6 you got.
yeah, it was encyclopedia, which was like, why? Why? I don't know. Like, so here I'm not sure I did the right thing, but I thought, okay, like I don't want to play right because I want to keep like at some point I thought, okay, maybe I can meld invention and tie with factories, and then this way I can free free perspective and do something like that.
Uh-huh.
And
I think there's an interesting point here about a choice you made a little earlier, Thomas. So
yes,
you must have known that there was a chance that you would use printing press. But you didn't know that it was going to be urgent because you didn't know coal was going to come up, of
yes,
course. But
yes.
I think in retrospect, like knowing it now, like I bet you wish you had taken that share of currency and had a few more things in score so that you could draw another
Yeah,
without
yes, yeah,
slowing yourself down.
yes.
Yeah.
But
Because
the
right now
thing,
you kind
yeah,
of want to do currency, but instead you're gonna meld invention to tie me on coal.
yeah, yeah. But also, I mean, think I thought this was still doable in the sense, okay, like I can score with perspective. I have I have a six, which is not what I want, but maybe, yeah, maybe I should have just. Maybe the mistake was to use printing press again.
But
I
it
should
looks
have.
like right now, like so Block can certainly like achieve the 4 to this turn if he wants, and then he can probably achieve the 5. Am I ahead of you guys? Do
You're
you have
ahead because
yeah
the
here?
3 hasn't been achieved.
Sorry. Achieve the
So
3 this turn, and then the 4 the next turn, and it looks like that's aiming toward the 5. And Thomas is just so far behind on score, like he's going to need that extra 6 to have any chance of catching up and getting any one of them. And so
Yeah,
it
but
seems like very slow to play invention here.
uh,
I thought it was actually okay because I mean, as a result of him playing invention, my second action had to be a waiting move. I couldn't do coal right away because I couldn't share coal because he would score his yellow pile, reveal perspective, and then he'd use perspective and he'd actually get H4 before me. So I couldn't. So
I feel like I've got the numbers wrong in my head. So let's get up to that point so that I understand.
well, I mean, no, it would happen right now. So I achieve the 3,
Uh-huh.
right? And now if I share coal, he
sorry.
he scores machinery and steam engine, which is 8, and reveals perspective. And perspective, he could return optics and score everything else. So he'd get another 14. So he'd be at 22 and he'd achieve the 2,
I
the
see.
4. So I actually had to do that waiting move there, which was calendar. I achieved the 3 and I did calendar just to get some cards in my hand that you weren't going to steal with machinery because you didn't want to.
Actually, I thought about it because I was so unhappy with the encyclopedia. Like, but it wasn't a wise move, so I didn't do it. And then you achieved 3.
Yeah, I want to say that actually earlier when I had pirate code on the board, and currency was the top green, I did not want to score currency with pirate code because it would reveal map making, and I was worried that you would steal map making with road building, and given all the ones I had in my hand in my score pile, that was going to be a big headache. So I actually wanted to keep currency for a long time as the top green card.
Well, also it was quite useful, I think.
Right.
um, yes. So here, what did I do? Yeah, I tried to. Maybe I should have just melded encyclopedia and drawn.
Maybe. I mean,
Yeah,
your tech advantage.
yeah. I think this was probably a mistake.
You needed a way to display purple.
Yeah. No, so the idea here was just I wanted to draw a 6, but like, yeah, this was a mistake. And also I wanted to keep. I was still hoping to get a purple a purple 6. And so I did, this was a coward move, I think. No, well, I don't know, maybe, but like I was almost sure you would use call, but maybe I should have just played encyclopedia, drawn a 6, and get ready for using perspective. Just I wanted to keep printing press. And also, I think, I mean, we will see this later, but you getting both 5 and 6 was sort of like depended on call doing the right thing, which it did.
Right.
So
I think 5 was kind of locked in.
Yeah, that's my recollection as well.
But 6 was definitely lucky.
Yes. So yeah, maybe here, what do you think? Should I have just played encyclopedia and drawn, and this way I would have a 6, and then perspective would have scored.
Yeah, I think I would have. I like being in age 6 a lot. And the best age 5 card is gone.
That's true. Yeah, also, the classification was really not what I wanted to see. I was hoping in like democracy or what's the other? Like emancipation or
vaccination.
Yeah, vaccination. I don't. Yeah, maybe. Or I like. Maybe like atomic theory would have been better, or one of the reds. Like greens and blues were not. And wasn't.
Yeah, I don't know how great machine tools is for you in this situation.
It was just to meld it, like, because like I don't know, like classification doesn't, like I had no way to score. And I don't know, it was just, but you know, in any case, so you use call.
You did not slay because you wanted to display for invention.
Yes.
But I get the factory's lead. You reveal perspective, which is what I expected.
You uncover mathematics.
Which I was very happy with.
You unleashed the power of call. Like, I don't know, like it's such a good card. And yeah, so when you achieve 4,
and now the 5 is locked in.
Yeah, 5 is locked in.
Yeah.
So I do now what I was supposed to do last round.
So I think this is like why meld that one and not classification? Just because now you can still score something within.
Yeah, but
doesn't matter anymore. You've got perspective.
Yeah, in the short term, yes, but after one usage, perspective becomes very slow.
But like, yeah, all right. I mean, I guess I understand. It seems like encyclopedia, has some uses depending on the situation, but until you get to those points, the immediate upside of printing press is a lot bigger, if you end up finding democracy or finding emancipation.
Yeah. It just, I thought my days were numbered because like Block was going to get 5. I wanted 6 essentially, because if he got 6, then he had mathematics, and there is no way in which like I could, like as from a tactical point of view, math makes you get to the age above the other person so easily.
But I think another point here is that with that play of Encyclopedia,
Yes.
this slows down your perspective. Like now perspective is only 14 points for you. It's not enough. It's not like very much, right? Like it would be 20 points if you, or maybe even more than that if you had played classification. Yeah, I think it would have been 23 points if you'd
No,
done
20.
Why?
Because you only have, yeah, this was something I
Yeah,
realized too.
I has to return 1 and then
And
score
I kept
4.
thinking like, oh, you're gonna score 4 because you had 8 bulbs before, and you were gonna score 4, which is 20 points. But then I saw it actually after I already did the coal that wait a second, you're not gonna get 20. So there's actually no risk of you getting the 5 this turn. So actually I could have waited here. And because I was going to play, I was going to meld astronomy and then use coal and score both purples. And that would get me to 31 points. But I thought, oh no, perspective, he can score 20 and then he'd achieve the 6 before me. The 5 before me, he'd get to 28. And instead, what ended up happening is I achieved the 5 now, but you actually had no way to achieve the 5 because you had too few bulbs.
Yes, but I
It's
mean,
like
my idea was I use invention once, then I get the light bulbs back, and then I have more points.
I see. Okay.
So like
So
I
I
think
guess
to get 6, I think this was okay.
Okay.
Like
Yeah, so I'm glad I didn't stop to think.
no, like maybe you could like maybe you could have yeah. So your idea was meld the.
I wanted to meld astronomy and then use coal and score both purple. 10
Yes.
points to get to 31.
Yes. And
And
then
yeah, and so because I could wait to achieve the 5.
yes. Which but then you okay, and then use achieve 5 and then mathematics 6.
Yeah, something like that.
It's a little bit dangerous because like like then Thomas can put like direct pressure on you and then maybe race to the 6, but I guess like this it's sort of just which turn does it happen on, so maybe not that any more dangerous.
In the end, it was a race either way because Thomas had
Right.
an easy way to score so many points with perspective. So I'm happy that I did what I did in retrospect.
Yeah, he had removed democracy. I was hoping, but I was hoping in a green.
But you must have been happy seeing democracy in your score pile.
Yeah, I was.
But then I got the other purple, which is great.
Yes.
And I scored my reds here. This was something to debate. You were shocked about that. The obvious move was to score my green pile. I would score map making and measurement, I think, and reveal banking.
Other way around. Score banking, reveal measurement.
Oh, okay. But I was worried at that point, then the only crowns on the top of my board was mathematics, which you would steal right away with enterprise. And I was, even though I'd be at at 5 achievements, I just, you getting mathematics and us being so close to the 8s and the 9s, I was not happy with that prospect. So I wanted to have map making as insurance. So
Makes
that's why
sense.
it's worked coal. Sadly.
our savior.
Yeah. The other thing was, I wish when I scored coal, I had scored, something like pirate code or ores, because I still had translation in my hand, and my score pile just needed a red
Red.
crown and a blue crown for me to be able to use that. And that was a hope up until vaccination destroyed my score pile.
Yeah, so here I just thought, okay, like I basically lost. I have to use vaccination. I didn't see any other thing to do. So I melded vaccination. So the whole hope was, okay, vaccination gets rid of some points, and then I can use democracy to get more points in the score pile.
And industrialization was gonna get you both wonder and monument, which would have been very nice.
Yes.
As
But at
soon
this
as they're
point, with, like so many achievements, like you just have to keep like a tiny bit of pressure on and not give them any time. Right.
right.
Yeah, like I mean, I needed to get 7. I mean, at least for me, the score was, I don't know, like for block special achievements, I think were not so easy to get.
I had
I say
astronomy.
no, of course, no, of course. Now you will see astronomy and and translation could do a trick, but I didn't know you have those cards, and just in terms of splaying, I was ahead. Empire, seemed more likely that I would get it. And
Right.
I
Canning
thought
was there.
I thought 7 was the most dangerous.
Right. Canning was there as maybe sometime. So melding astronomy here was also feeding something for Canning to get me monument. But nothing was that certain. The 7 was definitely my best shot here.
Yes. And yeah, so railroad, I wasn't very happy. I was hoping, and also lightning would have helped more.
Right. Lighting would have been excellent for you.
So,
I was very happy with astronomy here, taking the gamble so that I could maybe get to age 7 and then math or something interesting. I don't know. Yeah. So both 7s, I got explosives and I got combustion.
okay.
Combustion was actually kind of interesting because but I had read it wrong. I was like, oh, if I use combustion, ores at the bottom of my red pile will go to my score pile, but no, it gets returned. And I was thinking, oh, that's good for translation. That's good for translation. So, yeah, but that was me just misreading the card again.
Did you have a purple in hand?
No, no purple in
No.
hand.
Okay. Because you were almost there with cunning. You could almost do monument.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so here I think I did it again.
So
Yes.
so there's also like I think like one question I had at this point is like, Thomas, are you worried about astronomy? Because we just saw a red 7,
Yeah,
we saw
yeah.
explosives go in, so like he can meld explosives and then roll the dice on astronomy. We haven't seen any blue 7s, and so that's a reasonable shot at a win right there.
Yeah,
Was
so
that
my
something you
idea,
were worried about?
yeah, I worried just I was worried about both the score and him doing that. So my idea was vaccination first, and then I can play machine tools or industrialization.
So the
And
frustrating
then
thing,
I would get if he used astronomy, I would get the universe. because I had everything above 6.
Mhm.
Above 8, you mean?
No, I meant if you use that, like, if
Roll
I
the dice
played
with
machine,
astronomy.
if you played machine tools, sorry, if I played
Both
machine
uses.
tools and you used astronomy, then I would get universe at this point.
Right. So I like if I were in your shoes right now,
Mm,
and so the frustrating thing about my board is canning is great. It gets me the score I need, but it also gets rid of the 7, so I can't actually achieve the 7.
yes.
So I actually this coming turn cannot achieve the 7 at all.
Yes.
So if I were you with this
Mm,
hand, I would be tempted,
mm,
for the reasons that Gabriel said. I would try to stop astronomy from happening. And so I might actually meld industrialization here
mhm,
and then use it. And that would display purple. I would get wonder. I
yes.
might also get if I'm lucky, I might get empire. Um
Is there?
and uh and then astronomy wouldn't be a problem anymore.
Yes.
Uh
I mean,
and
astronomy
then
wouldn't be a problem, but like Thomas doesn't have any like visible way to score, and you're still sort of like very threatening, and like vaccination is only going to work so many times. I feel like that's like a dangerous game to play. Like, okay, you can, and then you know draw a card, and now you're like immediately threatening. Vaccination needs to keep the pressure on, keep the pressure on, keep the pressure on.
I guess I mean
Yeah.
yeah, vaccine how many what's my score pile look like right now? I
So,
can't.
it was like 6. Yeah.
Okay, so you get rid of 6. Yeah, I mean, I guess. Because right now I was thinking in my head, well, I can meld combustion and then on my turn and then share astronomy again.
Yeah.
And there's a good shot. We haven't seen any of the blue 7s.
Yeah, exactly.
I could
That's
continue.
But
yeah.
Thomas has 2 actions. So like in theory he can like vaccinate first and then play the red, which is what he says he wants to do. But like let's say he does what you just suggested, does melds the industrialization and dogmas it. Um and now you dogma um
Canning.
canning. How many points do you get? 15? So that
It's
puts you
like
at
7, 14.
14. Right.
yeah, 14. Sorry, I added wrong. And so what does that put you at?
44.
44. And so then if Thomas is able to double vaccinate, then that's 8 because the mathematics is also a 2 plus 6 is 14, putting you back to 30. Like that is very, very close.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I was so desperate that I was sort of thinking, okay, vaccination and I need lighting.
Hmm.
And
As opposed to the opposite, vaccination and give him lighting.
yeah, yeah. No, I don't know. It felt I needed a way to score, and lighting was the only thing fast enough.
Mm.
At least that was my. So the idea was vaccination, hope for lighting, put machine tools down or industrialization. But lightning saved me from astronomy. So yeah, I don't know. Like here it seems quite a lost
Hopeless,
cause.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Because also, no, I agree that astronomy has to be dealt with, because also, like you can do it again, and you will get one more card in. Yeah, I don't. I mean,
Yeah,
you also had the you could have even done mathematics, or yeah, or just cunning and meld.
Yeah, I think I wanted to on my turn meld combustion
Yeah.
and then share astronomy because combustion, then I could share canning and score things and get my points back and have a 7 on the board.
Yeah.
As a vaccination,
Yeah,
So I think this is an interesting point. So Thomas, you vaccinated again, and that
Yes.
is certainly one reasonable thing to do.
Mhm.
But another reasonable thing to do is use that electricity.
yeah.
But
Is that something you considered?
if I use electricity, doesn't he use lightning, get 4
Oh, sorry.
kilopoints, and
I thought
wind?
electricity was shared. I think like this entire time, like around this period in the game, I got confused about who is who with the factories. So yeah, I'm sorry. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I think vaccination's forced here. He has to.
Yeah. I just
I
thought
can.
that electricity was shared.
Mhm.
Yeah.
My mistake.
No problem. Yeah, so I return.
That's the end of vaccination. Right.
Yeah, I mean, I could resurrect it with electricity for 1 round, but I wasn't sure.
Now here was something funny because, you had, if you were going to share with me on the lighting, which you probably were going to do, you'd have to tuck 3
Yes.
and then I have to tuck 3 just to keep up the threat of monuments. Um, and yeah. And I actually even was considering maybe giving you monument and getting another 8 from the share, but then you just steal my whole hand with sanitation, which I wasn't happy with.
No, sanitation. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because
So
you would have to.
yeah, I had to, regardless, had to only do lighting once and then meld the 8. Or if you didn't share, then I would do lighting twice.
Yeah, then what would be so many points? Yeah, here the hope was to get the right 8s, and Encyclopedia does a miracle, more or less.
Right.
That miracle would have been mass media, but Block got mass media.
No, actually, rocketry. I got rocketry. The problem is that I got.
But you got the purple as well.
Yeah, I got the purple. Yeah, like I don't think it would have changed much I think Block would have won anyway, but without if I hadn't got socialism, then at least I would have been able to remove the 2 8s, and we would have been more or less at the same point as before.
Right. I was, as soon as you did encyclopedia and rocketry appeared, I was like, oh no. Like
Yeah, I think like I had like prematurely written the obituary, and then I saw the 8 in the score pile, and I was like, oh wait, encyclopedia.
Yeah, but unfortunately, at this point, once I got socialism, I think I was dead. And I thought about using sanitation, but you would still have one card for
yeah.
For lighting. So. But if I hadn't got socialism, I think it would have been interesting because, like, at that point, the score was sort of blocked for both of us.
Right.
And
Any other 8, and something non-purple would have been great for you.
So one question for you, Block. So you had this this like first lighting use, like this, but like a little bit before this. And Thomas had to share and had to tuck 3 in order to protect Monument, right?
Right.
So at that point, Thomas only has 3 cards left in hand, and you haven't done anything yet. You haven't tucked anything. Did you consider tucking 0 and then doing a waiting move, and now you have over 6 cards in hand, and now you're threatening Monument?
I did not consider that option. So I kind of considered something similar, which was just drawing cards. Um,
But that wouldn't have worked because then Thomas still is sitting on 6.
yeah,
I think
it's true.
I think sorry, there is only one thing. I have sanitation.
Yeah, sanitation's a problem because he can keep stealing from me.
So I could go back to 6. I mean, it
Yeah.
Go
was
back to 5.
no. I mean, if I use it twice, I mean,
That if you use it twice,
but
you get like 2 cards. So you go up
yeah,
to
yeah.
5.
Sorry, but then he doesn't have 6 anymore, right?
Yeah, he has
Like it's-
5. Yeah. Yeah, I kept forgetting about sanitation at this point.
Yeah, I mean, everybody does. I think nobody really does. Anybody ever think about sanitation? It's like the feudalism of the 7. More.
Right. And I was happy that I had refrigeration in case something happened where you somehow covered. There was something that I was worried about that you would cover lighting somehow. I forget with what. But I was like, okay, well, worst case, I could still score 7 with refrigeration.
And I was still confused. I still thought that electricity would be shared here. And I was like, why isn't Thomas sharing electricity? Can get rid of mass media, get rid of mathematics, get rid of lighting. This is great. Why isn't he doing it?
But
Oh
would have
yeah,
been
so
awesome.
this is what I was worried about was electricity. So rather than him doing encyclopedia and melding rocketry and everything, I thought he was going to do electricity to get rid of sanitation, and then he would use vaccination on me again.
Yeah, I was also thinking about that line. Yeah.
Right, and then I was like, okay, well, then even if lighting gets covered, at least I could still score with refrigeration.
Okay, random rocketry just to make you do something, and you win.
Well, I think a lot of the things that didn't make sense to me were just me like brain freezing about the game.
It was a very nice game. Like I'm
It
very
was I mean, like the score again, 6-2 doesn't sound like a great game, but it was the middle game was really intense where we were technologically advanced but still trying to achieve those early achievements. And
Yeah, it was a
fighting
6-2 that looked like it was going to be a 0-6.
right.
Yeah. Well, thanks.
Thank
I
you.
had a lot of fun. Congratulations, Block, and you are a proud owner of a Master Assassin badge. And
Hey.
and
I'll put it on my mantle.
and Block, I told you about the tournament that I wanted to organize. I'm waiting for everybody to reply.
Okay.
And,
Are we
and
still,
then
should we still be recording or is this now?
sorry, I will stop. No.